Any money you get your hands on, guys, take it and run. Daddy loves money. Daddy loves money.
What about love? What about love? I mean, have you ever been in love? And is that
Fuck.
like, have you ever been so madly in love? I mean, because that's the other thing about this whole Shannon story, right? On part 2 of the reunion. Apparently she is more in love with John than she has been with any other man ever in her. She's addicted to John. She cannot get over him. She's like so in love with him. She'd do anything. And that's sort of what, Jeff Lewis was saying. Her friend Jeff was basically implying that John is not a good influence because she will do anything to be with John. Well, now, what about you? Have you been so madly in love and then it went away?
Before we answer that question, I would like to make a comment to what you just said, that if that is the case, and I watched the reunion, she did say that. The reunion, first of all, for me, that's a cringe moment. Like, I cringed feeling bad for Shannon. You even kind of see Heather Dubrow kind of wince up. Like, it's almost like but if that is the case, then Shannon, despite the fact that she may need AA, she needs severe counseling to get under the hood of the car. You gotta that's not the answer, that you're hoping John proposes to you and you'll stop drinking if you have a happy marriage to John. No, you need to break up with John. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is you need to not date anybody else tomorrow for 1 year, 365 days. And then you need to go to intense counseling, which you've started an outpatient program, and you need to figure out why you cannot stand on your own 2 feet, that you go from David Beador, who treats you like fucking shit, to doing anything for somebody, whether they're a good guy or not, that you feel you're just so in love with, and please like me, please like me, please like me. Let me tell you guys something, guys and gals out there. The person that you're saying please like me to will never like you. The person you're saying please love me will never love you. It's
so true.
Yeah. So my next life, I'm starting an advice podcast. Everything I'm saying right now is so true. I am not coming down on Shannon. She needs to figure out, she needs to be alone. Break up with John, and you need to spend the next year alone. Go on.
No, I love it. You're absolutely right. I made my husband chase me for like 6 years and it worked. And I don't really recommend this because I can't even believe he stayed with me, but he was way more in love with me than I was with him. And I did love him. So I'm not going to say that John doesn't love Shannon, but anyway, I mean, I made my husband chase me, and then he sort of was like at his wit's end. And that's when I flipped the switch. I was like, we're getting married. We got married like 9 months later, and it totally worked. Yeah. But if you're the one that's like begging, I mean, I guess I say that, and I married my husband, and I'm like so glad he married me because it's like the best marriage. I mean, it wasn't like, I wasn't like, oh, you can't live with me. You know what I mean? We did. So I guess I should shut up. I don't think this is very good advice. Anyhow, that was good advice. Sorry, David.
No, I understand. I mean, I think I understand.
You gotta have but I think you gotta like let them chase you a little bit,
and at least not say
never had anybody chase her. I feel like Shannon's always chasing these men. Yeah, you got to get a man. When they chase you, they are so hook, line, and sinker, and they will do anything for you. And I'm sure it works like that in in your world too, like in the gay world. Like once you get it, is that like, I'm sure if you got one of the guys that was so in love with you, chasing you, he'd do anything for you.
Listen, regardless of all of that, and I agree with all of that, this is such a cliche, but it is so true. You have to be completely happy by yourself, able to die alone, able to grow old alone, able to live your life alone. And until you do that, you will never, ever be able to find true love. The end.
You're preach. I hate being right. And I've said, Nene is in a bad place. Nene is, if Greg were still here, Nene never would have done Bethany's podcast. And sadly, Nene has relaunched her YouTube channel. That's great. I think that's terrific. But did you see that video where she came on and considered an open marriage and anything to just have somebody so she would have an emergency contact to put? I'm like, oh my God, I just like, I want to be best friends with her so badly to like counsel her. I'm like, you're so lost. You know what I mean? Like I know I saw my mom lose my dad when I was in high school, and like losing a spouse after all those years, especially when you were in love. And I do believe she was madly in love with Greg. And I think Erica, it's the same way. I think she's mourning, Tom Girardi for whatever we think of him. It is so hard to bounce back. And I think you see Nene, just a woman so lost without Greg. It's really hard because she is like Wendy Williams. I mean, she is up there with that level of talent, but it's like if you don't have it figured out internally, like you said, you can't be strong on your own. If you can't do it on your own, if you can't, it's really fucking hard to make it. It really is, because you got to have a lot of shit together.
Listen, the relationship advice, I got it all figured out. Just because I am a relationship mess does not mean I don't understand how to do it. I just apparently don't want to. By the way, I agree with you. And that did make me, when Nene said that she would just basically, and that to me, I've always said this, that my worst, whatever, one of the most depressing things to me is coexisting with a human being in a house. That to me is like, I love my life. Please, I am not protesting too much. I mean, living between 3 homes and just doing this job and being a single girl about town, I am completely open to someone coming in my life, but trust me, I really, truly do love my life. I don't need to prove that. It's when Nene said that she would take someone just to not be lonely. And it's sad. Just, you're going to marry someone and be with someone just to not be alone. Oh, Nene.
And look, this is part of feminism, like we talked about the past episode. I mean, Nene said she is a woman that loves to be with a man, and he's the man of the house and he makes decisions. And that's what Greg was. Like, Greg was older. Greg, she stayed home. Greg, they had a good life before Housewives. They weren't uber rich, but it's tragic to see because she has so much talent, and but anyway, can't really do it for people. So there you go. Did you give a shit? I mean, PETA is not very thrilled that Shannon Beador. Did you have something else? Do you want to add something?
I have one thing to say, because I made an offer a few weeks ago to Nene that I need to produce her. We're going to do the Atlanta recaps, and everyone was like, oh my God, this is amazing, that she just needs to come to me and say, David, I want to work with you. We will do Atlanta morning after recaps. Best thing, I will make Nene. We're going to split the profits, girl. You're going to make a ton of money from this. That's the first, but I would like to now offer up something else, because now you just came to me as you were talking. I will marry Nene. So take back everything I just said. I will be that person. I will make all the decisions. I will move. I mean, I'm not moving to Atlanta. No offense to anyone. Unless we're back on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If Nene gets herself back on the Real Housewives of Atlanta and wants me to move to Atlanta, I will marry her and live in Atlanta. Short